There you go. They both are claiming it's their land.
Yeah.
So how do you reconcile that?
I don't know. I come from like in the city I come from. People come from everywhere.
Yeah.
And some people think it's their land, and the people that came from abroad should go away.
Yeah.
But where? Like they were born here as well. Like where is the way? I'm my nationality, but I've got people like my ancestors come from elsewhere.
Yeah. So where you from? If you don't mind
I'm
asking.
from France.
From France.
But I've got like Vietnamese background. Where I should go back from according to certain people.
Yeah.
Some people might think I'm French.
Right.
Some people think I'm not. I don't really care. They can't.
Yeah.
Apparently, if they try to murder me, they can't really do anything.
No, that's fine.
So
I mean, that's
if they
exactly what I'm
disagree
saying.
with
There are things which have conflicts in this world that we live in, and you see everything that we. I'll give you another example. Okay, maybe land might be a bit controversial. I'll give you another example. The example of alcohol. Yes, there are many people who think it's okay to drink. Yes, but then the harm can be much greater because you might think it's good for you. It might be bad for maybe somebody you hurt from that, the consequence of that drinking. I'm not saying you personally, by the way. I'm saying the individual who thinks it's good to drink. They might, every alcoholic out there, at one point they thought they're going to be responsible drinkers, but they ended up being basically alcoholics.
Yeah, it's a bad choice they made at a bad time.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So things like this, I mean, who decides? Like, for example, I'm a Muslim, and in Islam, we are forbidden from drinking. It's prohibited to drink alcohol. You see, that is good for everyone. It's good for me as an individual. It's good for my family, for my community, and everyone. Because that, whatever problem or issues related with consuming alcohol, yes, Islam has just nipped it in the bud.
But it's good if you choose to, if it's something you choose to do, I think it's good. It's something you've accepted, but you cannot expect everyone to do so. I know someone who's a Muslim and who drinks at night because he believes that in the night God doesn't see him drinking.
Well, that's his ignorance anyway.
I think this is hilarious.
we know that is his ignorance. Even you as a person who doesn't believe in God will think that is kind of stupid.
Is, like, he's trying to comply with this and finds an excuse not to comply when it suits him.
No, but we are talking about, look, we are talking about mainstream, no, we are talking about a mainstream Islam and Muslims who adhere to the teachings of the Quran. We are not talking about those exceptions. And by the way, I'm not denying there are no Muslims out there who don't drink. Of course there are. There are Muslims who do sin. But the important thing is this. Alcohol is something that is well known to be an issue in every community in the world. It's not like
when you're not being sensible with it.
Yeah, but
so if you're being a grown-up adult, and you make your own decisions to be sensible, and you constantly ask yourself if what you're doing is right for yourself and the people around you, you might make mistakes. But if you're not too stupid, you learn from them and you don't do them again. Maybe people will forgive you, or maybe they won't.
Yep.
But
mistakes related to alcohol
mistakes in life in general.
People like one night.
Yeah, but you see, that alcohol, like I told you, there are people who thought the same thing. That at one point they're going to be responsible citizens and individuals who are not going to drink more than they can handle. But then look what happened, because alcohol is such that it messes up with your mind, with your thinking, and then you end up drinking more than you plan to.
I find it a bit sad because in my mind the way you're saying this is, it was good, for example, that it says in a religion not to drink too much.
Yeah.
So
not to drink at all, not too much.
Not to drink at all.
Yeah.
But so you're telling me that.
No, this is just one example to show you.
What I found sad is basically, instead of making, like, you can decide for yourself without believing in anything that drinking is not good and therefore you shouldn't, or do you need someone to tell you to behave? Like a dad telling you all your life.
It's not about behaving, it's about guidance. There's a big difference here. I'll tell you what.
You can make your own choices.
Okay, do you think alcohol is good or bad for you?
I don't think it's a good thing to abuse it.
Okay, do you drink?
Very occasionally.
But you do drink. Knowing the fact that you as a grown-up have ability to understand whether it's good or bad for you, for your body, but yet you are drinking it.
I know my limits.
No, but that's
I
what I'm
never
telling you.
go over my limits.
Because you see, you don't realize what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm saying is that you, knowing the fact it's bad and harmful for your body, yet you decide to drink. The reason is because you don't know.
It's about the dose.
Ah, really?
Definitely.
So if I give you a little poison, you'll drink it?
It's not a little poison. It depends which substance, each
exactly.
each substance has its own.
But why would you consume poison out of interest? Why?
I will not.
But the alcohol is poison. You just said it.
No, it depends how much you take.
No, but why? Even little. Why would you take poison if it's poison?
Some even that's also a fun
Actually,
fact.
I'll answer that one. Alcohol isn't poison just because alcohol is used as a medicine. Like if you're in the war or anything, they pour alcohol on. Not
Yeah, it can be
poison.
ridiculous.
It's
It can
clean.
help.
Wait. You see,
It's all
where do
about
they pour it? On the skin, not in your mouth. There's a big difference.
Yeah, alcohol can be very useful.
No, you're talking about
in your mouth, not in your mouth.
you're using that as an antiseptic. That's a big
What's
difference.
the argument about alcohol?
No, the argument it's about God. It's about believing in God or not.
Just discuss.
That was a discussion.
Oh, well, we drink wine, don't you, in the church?
Well, we are not Muslims. We don't drink wine
Oh,
either.
right, well,
Sorry, we are Muslims. We don't drink alcohol.
Actually, there was a time
Yes.
where water was not drinkable, and it was better to
I
drink
know what
a
to
small
do
amount of
anyway.
alcohol rather than
Fruit juice, yeah.
something fruit juice fermented
Not necessarily.
with a bit of alcohol in it that would kill.
The reason I brought up the alcohol discussion is for you to understand that if there is no consequence for you for whatever you're doing in this life, then nobody is going to be stopping you when you realize that there is no consequence for it. For example, when I say consequence, I mean there's no one for you to check. It's like that Muslim friend of yours who does something wrong at night, thinking that nobody will see him, nobody will notice him. When you take away the consequences, when you take away the responsibility, the accountability of what you're doing, then
Sorry.
Are you an atheist as well?
Yeah. But who's?
You're not so not to stand.
No, I am.
Yeah.
But well, I do have a question for you. Did you want to finish with?
yeah, so what I was saying is that if you don't have accountability, responsibility and consequences, then as human nature, I think there was a survey done earlier where they actually asked this question: if there's no accountability or any consequence, would you do something wrong, like for example murder or something, and get away with it? And for example, your enemy, if you had this option to kill your enemy, yes, knowing that there won't be any consequence, would you do it?
There will be a
And most of them said yes,
Consequence.
because they know that you won't be held accountable for it and you'll get away with it.
consequences that you will have to live with this your whole life.
But if you don't
Would
mind,
you?
For them,
mind doing it.
for them that is not much, because
There's plenty of people that don't care.
remember it's the
I'm
enemy.
sure they don't care for real. Those people who do drink to forget usually, don't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't
How long?
forget, do they?
How long they gonna forget?
Yeah, exactly. Until it wears
The
out.
trouble never go away. That's only temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
And you go back again to that.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
doesn't. It
When
doesn't
you
mean-
do something bad, it sticks to you
Yeah.
your whole life.
Oh yeah,
You know that.
Yeah.
And it will eventually.
You might get away with the
No,
one.
eventually
but you
it will
have to look at
affect
yourself your whole life.
your body inside your organs, and everything's going to be damaged.
Okay,
So
let's
that's what, you know,
sorry,
take
you had a question you wanted to
Use
ask?
it.
Yeah, go on.
So you guys can't drink,
Yes.
but how do you?
It's not we can't drink. We can drink, but we chose not to drink because our religion
Sorry.
doesn't permit us to drink.
So your religion says that you
Sinning.
can't.
Yeah.
It prohibits us. Yes.
But how do you feel about not having the choice?
What do you mean? We do. No, we do have the choice, but because look,
But if you adhere to your religion, then you don't really have the choice.
no, the religion in the Quran, Allah says there might be some benefit, yes, in the alcohol, but the bad outweighs the good. So whatever benefit is there in alcohol, yes, whatever basically the bad impact of it is much more, the harm is much greater than the good. That you might feel good for a little while, yeah, you consume alcohol, you feel relaxed or whatever you feel, yes, that's temporary. But then there are many people, you know, when you look at them puking on the streets, and these are professors, these are intelligent people who have responsible jobs. Those people, when you see them outside reacting from alcohol and the way when you look at them, I mean, you think, how can someone intelligent, a person like that, consume alcohol and then behave like an animal? Because at that stage he doesn't even know what he's doing.
Not everyone gets like that though.
Yeah, but many
I
do.
never,
You
ever,
cannot deny that.
ever
Many
be
do.
hungover.
You
Some
will.
do. but you
bet.
don't, you cannot generalize.
Have you ever been Saturday night outside to Leicester Square or someplace like that? Look, every Saturday night you find the ambulances rushing to those places. Every Saturday night.
Lothian and Border Police.
Yes.
Chief Inspector.
Everywhere, not only
Instead of his man hour is stuck weekends outside pubs and clubs.
Yeah, and this is the revenue. This is the taxes. The people who are teetotalers who pay that goes into those treating those alcohol-related matters. And this is not only people getting drunk. This is those people getting drunk and getting violent towards their families, towards their spouses, towards their children.
What do you think it says? Like, why do people need to drink?
Say again?
What do you think it says? Like, if people need to get
we're
this
just
in this state,
another 10 minutes. We were
why would they do it? Is it recreational for them? Like, where do they gain?
You tell me. You are the one who drinks. I don't drink.
I don't drink that much.
No, you don't have to drink that much. In order for why do you drink? That's a question. Because earlier you did say that alcohol is kind of a poison. Now, how much you drink?
Depends
That
how
is
much you drink.
exactly. But
So if you have
but the thing is, even if it's
one
poison,
pint every
If he was
other
a-
week with
Yeah.
a friend, that's not.
What
you-
about if you are in a party and it's all drinks free?
But
And then they'll get everybody,
Yeah, but it doesn't
drinking,
mean that
and
I have to
everybody,
drink it
after
if
that,
it's
and
free.
yes,
Means I can,
and
but
you
I don't
end up,
have to.
yes,
Let me put
That's
it
all.
to you this way: even if you only have one point every
Exactly.
now and then,
yes.
you're still supporting an industry that ruins people's lives. So think about the wider ranging consequences. Maybe only a little bit of your money goes towards the support of that industry, but you still do support
You keep
that
it
industry
alive,
in
yeah.
some way, shape or form. So you let other people down also by supporting an evil industry.
Tim, hold on, isn't it the same with Muslims when they do that, what's that smoking thing again, what's it called?
Shisha.
Yeah,
It's not allowed, you know that. It's not allowed.
No,
Yeah, but a
every
lot of
Muslim-
Smoking, look, again, it's the same thing. Just because Muslims do it doesn't make it. It's
That's
what
a Muslim, but
Islam
that's not
teaches
Islam.
Yeah, I
that.
know.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh
So
yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
basically, the basic teaching of Islam is anything that harms your body. Yes, anything that harms your body,
But Islam
you should
doesn't
not.
say that to
You
do
should
that.
not consume
It
that.
doesn't say that.
Exactly.
And that includes fatty food. That includes consuming things which are harmful for your body. All of it, not just alcohol and basically smoking and stuff like that. Anything that harms your
can
body,
relate.
So you
you should avoid it. But there are certain things like alcohol, which is specifically mentioned because this is something you find throughout the world. Yes, that it's prohibited completely. And then same goes with gambling. The same goes with adultery, fornication, and so on. So all these things which harm you, your community, your family, is something that is for the greater good. Basically, it's not because Allah doesn't want you to have fun in your life. Yes, have fun, but in a halal way, in a more way which is wholesome, for
All
you.
the rules like made for religion was to kind of have people agree on a good conduct that would make the society
Yes.
better.
The morals, good morals. Yeah.
But
But you can still have a good time.
you can still have a good time, but there is also, because the rules are written, some people can.
He's a
I'm
Christian.
I'm a Christian, so I'm
Kind of
kind of on
Christian,
his side a little
Let
bit.
me tell me,
A little bit.
Don't drink
how come?
Yeah. I don't drink it. I used to.
Why we go to
Every now
school
and then
then?
I take it.
Because we don't
But
understand
I had,
everything.
like, for example, I had
So if
five,
it is, we
like,
don't
six
have a
small
more
glasses
on
of wine.
the code of
Apart
to
from that-
learn and understand.
Yeah, but
How can you going to teach yourself? You
You're
cannot
allergic to
never
alcohol.
be.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I've heard of like.
Is it 'cause it makes you feel bad
happening to
afterwards?
people. No, it's because like
That's just your
literally,
moral.
as soon as I start drinking, I get like headaches.
Really?
you see, there you go.
When you
Right.
No, like everything. So
So it's bad for your health, and you shouldn't drink
yeah.
it. You see, that's the reason doctors advise
you
those.
really
but
Busy and
then
everything.
work gives me headaches as well. So
Sorry.
work gives me headaches too.
Oh yeah.
It's bad for your body. And
Yeah, you should quit and get
Maybe you should marry someone rich. You don't have to work either. So yeah, going back to what we're talking about. See, morality is good. There's something which you don't need to be religious to have.
you don't need
To have most of the morals out there. Yes, like for example, we all know killing is bad, raping is bad, stealing is bad. Yes,
Yeah,
telling
anything-
lies is bad.
anything that's not respecting human life is bad.
So what do you think of abortion?
Abortion,
That's a
What
tough
about
that's the hard one.
Exactly. You see, this is what I mean. But
What
going
is
back
hard
to
is the life of the
Fornication.
mother, the life of the baby. What do you
Hold
think?
on, one second.
So-
why can't you say
What
both?
about the life of the father? That's the question.
Actually, life of all three are important: the father, mother, and the baby.
And I think,
Okay?
and I honestly think,
But you see, in most countries
Yeah.
today, abortion is legal.
yeah.
And
the
I don't know.
father
Have you
doesn't
ever
get
seen?
say.
Have you ever seen how abortion is conducted? I don't mean like physically seeing, either on TV or YouTube or somewhere, maybe you should go and see one of those videos. It is like a horror movie, and it's worse than that, trust me, because this is a life which cannot protect itself. The baby, the child cannot protect itself. And those doctors, those surgeons, whoever, they rip them limb by limb. Sorry to say this, but this is something, yes, they do. This is shocking to many people, they don't know. Up to the age of 28 weeks, yes? I think that is a legal limit up to when you can abort. After that, you can't. It's illegal to abort. But you see, by the age of 28 weeks, they got a heart which is beating, they got all the limbs, they got the head, everything fully formed already. It's only the size, that's small, that's all. And this is, you see, this is legal. This is legal. So for you to say, Chris, one sec, to say that this is something that we are going to decide what is good and what is not good by our own volition, by our own intellect, I think this can be quite subjective, like I said earlier.
It is subjective. So you have law telling you that above a certain time it's not possible to do it anymore, and then before that it is your own decision.
So you see, even as a humanist, you get into this dilemma whether abortion is something that should be accepted or rejected.